Good news for a lot of us Malaysians who have some money in EPF. We are hitting a 6-year high in terms of the dividend payouts. And in fact, over the past 20 years, or 25 years actually, 2024's dividend will be, I believe, the 4th highest out of the past. So it's pretty good, you know. Too busy to find stock ideas? Check out Fiverr Pro to shortcut your research time and effort by 90%. 10% off link in the comments and description. So 6.3%, fantastic.
Yeah, I
We're
think
back above 6.
Yeah, I think previously we also did a video. We kind of like predicted it will be around 5.8 to 6. So it exceeded our expectation by a lot. So that's really good. You can see that in 2017, that is actually their highest dividend payout. It's about 6.9% over here. So yeah, let's do some comparison like the previous 2017 and also the current 2024's asset allocation. So you can see that number one here, you notice obviously the equity segment has grown a lot. Last time they only hold about 36%. Right now it has grew to 43.5%. And also if you look at their fixed income, this one they reduce a lot. So the funny thing, right, is that previously they own a lot of fixed income, but they still managed to give up such a high rate, like about 6.9%. So what this means is that the equity really carry a lot in the returns for 2017. Which means that probably 2024's return is not to say it's the best, but 2017 is the best if you do this kind of like comparison. And if you see that the contribution, equity one, the one contributed about 67%, whereas for fixed income, they only contribute about roughly 30%. So yeah, the equity side is doing the heavy lifting, and you can see this one is the ROI breakdown for each. You can see equity's ROI is about 9.9%, fixed income 4.27%, the real estate is 5.13%, and then the money market is only 1.89%. But still pretty much very decent already. They managed to give out like a 10% return, I believe, for the past 2 years or so. So yeah, the equities one is one contributing a lot. Now, another interesting thing that you can see is that in their equity segment, the one that is actually giving out the most income is actually the foreign. So you can see the foreign, they only contribute about 37%, but they gave 50.3% of the total investment income. Whereas for the local one, which is our Malaysia one, 63% position size, but the returns is only like 49.7% of the total investment income. Now, actually, if you see these kind of like stats, right, you will assume that EPF would put in more money to overseas.
Yeah.
But then no, because our government say that we need more of our, retirement fund into our domestic market.
Yeah, so, I think that's a challenge, because you see for EPF size, if they put into local, which is just a translation of the KLCI 30, and the KLCI 30, as we have been mentioning many times, is where returns go to die, right? It's a returns graveyard, because basically it's the size of the company in Malaysia is really too big, and that's it, they can't grow anymore. Whereas in the US, you have a lot of companies that are bigger than Malaysian companies, but because they have a global outreach, or even if they are just, let's say, US only, the market is much bigger. So for big size funds like EPF, foreign is the way to go.
Yep. Yeah, just to say that there's going to be a new deployment for new money. So 70 to 80% of the money that was contributed by the new members, they will be like putting into domestic funds. The balance will be in foreign. So yeah, still a pretty interesting take. Okay, but the biggest question over here, obviously we shouldn't be celebrating too early, because we don't know whether 2025 is going to be a good year. Obviously right now we are seeing the market has tumbled a lot already. A lot of companies have been corrected about 10, 20%, some even 45%. So the key question, and not even in Malaysia actually, in the US also, they are kind of like muted at the moment. So whether this 6.3% can maintain or not will be the biggest question, because we don't know whether next year, whether next year they can still continue to give out 6%. I doubt so actually. Yeah, I think probably the figure is going to be about 5-point-something% in 2026. So but we shall see whether they can still maintain. But a few risks that you need to take note for 2025, obviously, number one, it is the discussion about the Russia and Ukraine war. So if you guys didn't know, there's a video, I think, around the social media already. You can check out the discussion between Trump and also Zelensky. But what do you think about this?
Discussion.
Yeah, discussion. But what do you think about this though? Do you think that this is a I definitely, this one is a very interesting discussion because nobody actually publicized this before.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's like, it's what everyone wants to know, right?
Yeah,
That
behind
what actually
scenes.
behind the scenes, what kind of conversations go on.
Yeah.
But then it's just it feels like a family reunion dinner went a bit sour, you know.
Yeah.
That it's something like that. But of course, my view is they should have done this behind doors. But it's a very complicated situation because the US wants mineral rights from the Ukraine. Then Ukraine say yes, but then not really. And then there was a threat, a mini threat by Zelensky to Trump that, hey, if you don't send, troops now, the war will be at your borders, right? So he was threatening that, and of course, Trump and JD Vance got a bit angry with that. So yeah, it was it's quite funny. Actually.
Yeah, this one is a quite revolutionary discussion. But anyways, in March, we have also Trump going to be imposing some tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and also China. Also, they on top of the 10% that they initially imposed, they're going to be adding another 10%. So everything's going to come soon, about 4th of March, I think, when this video is out. So I think by then you will know how the market react to this. And then last but not least, we have the Doge also, because Doge is busy cleaning up a lot of mess inside the government organization. So what this means actually, potentially, it may increase up unemployment rate.
Yeah.
Because they are trying to like remove out unproductive people, right, that is working there. So yeah, the figure definitely will start to bump up, and then probably the unemployment claims will also start to rise, which is not really a good sign also. I mean, on face value lah, because it seems like the US is not doing so well because of such a high unemployment rate, right? But we shall see, because Trump said that he is confident that his tariff wouldn't increase inflation. That is his own words, but we shall see whether it is true or not in the remaining months or maybe year. Now, the second interesting article that we came across, which is this. So if you guys got watched the movie The Big Short, right? Basically, the finance guys, they got carried away and they kind of like make a lot of junk asset-backed securities, and then they sell it to investor. And they say that these asset-backed securities can give a very high return as compared to your normal government bond. Yeah. So, and actually what happened next is that obviously it tumbled and it crashed. So right now they are back again, and interestingly, they have a new asset-backed security that is related to data centers, AI, solar.
Of course.
Yeah. And basically they say that, you have to make it more creative. The more creative, the better. On this asset thingy. But you can see that the forecast, they think that this new investment or thingy-manjingy is going to be at kind of high side. But we still don't know yet. But obviously there is some sort of meeting going on that is somewhat mirroring the Big Short's kind of like scene. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how does all of these play out. Obviously, you want to see whether is this asset security, is it worth or is it worthless? So I think that this is very key, but so far nobody has been researching about this class yet, but I will assume that it is kind of like worthless. I don't know. But yeah, this is just another interesting thing. Now, finally, what is shocking is Buffett or Berkshire Hathaway sold the S&P 500 funds that he told everyone to buy. So I think this one created a mini havoc around the value investor kind of like community, because they thought that Buffett has been preaching about S&P 500. If you don't know what to invest, then just buy this index. But yeah, so it's kind of interesting to see that he has actually sold his holdings on this one. Maybe it shows that he thinks the valuation might not be what he likes. Or maybe he thinks that the growth is muted, or maybe it's not even him. Maybe it's his other teammates that sold, right? Yeah, it could be that case also. But it's still, this is a mini shocking news for the market. So the final thoughts we have over here on why EPF return may not maintain is, number one, 2025 had a rough start. A lot of companies tumbled a lot. Obviously, the stock market is not doing well. That's why we also believe that EPF will not do well, because they have majority of their returns are coming from the domestic equities and also the foreign. Now, both of these market also is not doing well. So if let's say this continues for the remaining months, definitely their dividend rate will reduce. So obviously you want to expect less return for 2025. I think I saw like some of the comment, they say that next year 7%. Yeah, so it's pretty interesting to see that they are so confident on EPF. But yeah, I mean, if you've been following the market, you know that it's a tough time. And the third point over here, obviously you want to be prepared for the worst, because there's a lot of like trade wars going to be incoming soon already, or maybe it's here, and the market is kind of like pricing in. So if you guys are spooked and scared, you don't really dare to invest. Well, we have this program, which is the Cash Plus by Mumu, where you can actually park your
5%.
idle cash, and earn about 5%. This is for new users. But if you are an existing, I think the rate is around like 3 to 4%, but it's still very decent. I mean, it's better than you putting in fixed deposit, because fixed deposit, you also require a certain time before you can withdraw and generate the return, right? But for Cash Plus, it's like you're making money on a daily basis. So that is a pretty interesting thing. And if you want to get an additional 40 ringgit cash voucher, you can use our code over here, which is FIRE24. And when you key in, you can get 40 ringgit. And if let's say if you are a new user, you can get even more rewards, actually, about like 180 ringgit, if I'm not mistaken, when you deposit like at least 10,000 ringgit into Mumu. So if you guys are staying on the sideline and you want to park your cash somewhere safe, I think Cash Plus is one place for you guys to consider. If not, you also can consider fixed deposit. You can go the old school ways. So this is the pros performance. So far, we have been performing, I mean, at least we are still in positive, although it is down a little bit, slightly. Tough year, obviously. But we shall see whether the remaining months, whether we can continue to improve or not in terms of our returns. But you can see that the Fire Pro Global, this one improved a lot. Last time it was around 2%-ish. Now it's about 5.55%. Wish that we have deployed more cash inside here, but it is what it is. The boring portfolio also not so bad. Some of the companies are still paying out dividends consistently. But one of them are actually kind of like struggling a little bit, and we are actually having a meeting with the management. So we shall see what is up with one of the companies in the boring portfolio. But anyways, if you want to know what are the company names that is the censored one, and you want to get an uncensored version, you can actually subscribe to Fire Pro, and you can get a 10% coupon also if you use the link in the description and comments. So if you want to know more on how we do our write-ups, you want to know how we even take notes when we meet management, right? We also have these management notes inside Fire, the sample. So if you want to see how we do all of these things for free, you can check it out. The links will be in the description and comments. So that's about it for today's video. See you guys next week.
Bye-bye.